Ladies and gentlemen, this is Alphabetical Games, episode 5. I'm Cameron James. Joining me today is Alex Morales. Why Am I a Nerd's own 4th and 1, Sean Farwell. And from the beginning, none other than Just Matt. What's up?
JM.
How is everybody?
Doing good.
Hungover.
Yeah. I was going to say, no wonder you didn't text us before. I was trying to get like, hey, if anyone wants to do this early, I was like, something tells me Alex been drinking.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
I had like a little get together here at my house with some family.
I took some edibles the other day when we recorded the Yo Up Comics podcast, and I was hungover yesterday from being high from the night before. And it was awful. It was the worst experience of my life.
It was pretty funny.
So needless to say, I won't be popping any edibles anytime soon. So before the show, we were already talking about this. Kind of, Matt and I are playing Ghost of Tsushima. We have, we both like it. I guess Matt doesn't like my nitpickiness of it.
It really is just nitpicky tiny shit. If you were saying like, oh, I didn't like the game because I just the combat doesn't make any sense, the mechanics are terrible all around, that would make sense. But trying to throw a little throwable item and saying it's kind of annoying,
it is annoying.
Whatever, man.
I'll stick with it. It's annoying, but I'll get by.
What's the rating so far?
It's pulling like I think it has right now
9 on IGN.
Yeah, I think the Metacritic overall is a 9.1, which puts it in the top 10 PlayStation 4 games of the generation. So
I meant your rating, like you guys as individuals so far.
Oh, I think it's a 9. It's a 9 for me at least. It's one of the most visually appealing games I've ever seen.
Kim's like,
I will give you on visuals, 100%.
Okay.
It looks
so. Then what are you gonna say?
Sick.
Oh, he's gonna rate it to 6. It's a 6 because
I was gonna say. Time out. It's not even that hard. Neo's combat was fucking easier than this. I don't care what you say. Neo's combat was way easier than this game.
This combat is very similar to Sekiro. So if you think that this combat's, I
don't think it's bad. I just don't like how you don't lock on when you throw something. That's the only thing that drives me fucking nuts.
Grow up, then. I don't know what else to tell you. That's such a minor detail that you can work past that. If samurais weren't locking on in real life, so just do it.
Facts.
Neither does every other video game that has lock on targeting. But enough with our rant. I will say one thing though: if they try to make an Assassin's Creed version of Samurais, they would have sucked at it based on how this game is.
Let me ask you guys a couple questions. How far into the game are you right now?
5 hours.
I'd say about that. Yeah, I'm not terribly far. I've spent most of my time just kind of wandering around. I feel like that's one of the best parts of this.
Did you get to the?
Is it open world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get to the guy that's hanging out with the chicks and he's like a samurai and he's like, dude,
fake samurai? Yeah, I literally did that last night before I went to bed. He's like, don't tell them that I'm not really a samurai. And then you're like, okay, cool. I'll either kill you or you leave. And then you never come back again.
It's pretty, I do like how they always give you like 3 main missions at all times, kind of. I've noticed. Like I just did the one where, did you meet your friend Ryozo?
Mm-mm.
All right, that's that. But you met what's her face? Lady Maz. What the hell's her name? You had to.
I've literally just been riding around looking for random shit. Breath of the Wild style, just riding to smokestacks and into the woods and just looking for shit.
Did you get
Is that a game you would compare it to? Is Breath of the Wild? I've heard
absolutely. That. Yeah, in terms of the overworld and how you can traverse it, there's no waypoints. So like you can go to the map and say, okay, it tells you, hey, there's a mission in this area, and you click it. It's not like you click it and then you go back to the game and then you see a little point on your screen guiding you. You swipe up the touchpad and like a gust of wind will blow in the direction if you want that extra hint of where you need to go. Otherwise, you just fucking ride around and figure it out. And just come upon people and start talking to them, and they'll give you things. They'll say like, "Oh, I heard a rumor that, I picked up a rumor last night." The lady's like, "Oh yeah, there's a rumor that people go into these woods near here and they don't come out, they die, and it doesn't matter if they're Japanese or they're Mongols. Everybody just comes out dead." So she thinks there's some kind of ghost there that's killing people. So I'm going to try to go see what's going. Yeah, I'm going to see what's going on in the woods. But no, it's very much like Breath of the Wild. It kind of gives you the ability to just do your own thing.
You got the bow and arrow, right?
Not yet. That's what I want to do today when I play. So I'll get that, the half bow.
Yeah. And apparently you can get the longbow right away too. I don't know where it is yet though. I haven't figured it out yet. But no, I enjoy it too. I think it's great. Like I said, my minor nitpick, not a big deal, but whatever. Like I said, I don't think that Ubisoft would have been able to pull it off as well as they do, just because I think that they did their combat in this with the swordplay really well. And it does remind me of Neo a little bit.
So. Is that the only game comparison you would have for it, or Breath of the Wild, Neo? Anything else?
You said Sekiro.
I mean, yeah, it's in terms of, because you can't just, I mean, you know, in Sekiro, you can kind of run around if you wanted to just hack something. You go just charge up to somebody and fight them. This takes a little bit more thought. You know, Sekiro is a lot about blocking and just taking hits and whittling someone's defense down until you can just take a one shot and put them down. This requires a little bit more thought. You can't just necessarily charge someone and completely fuck them up. You know, they might start blocking your attacks and then you leave yourself open because you get tired. So I like it. I really love the combat so far. It's fun.
Yeah, I do think what I do find easy too, which I was surprised by, is this does a better job letting you switch your stance than Neo does. I'll say that much. Like switching your stance on the fly on this is like super easy. Like I was fighting that guy with the shield. I was like, oh fuck, I have to switch my stance. I did it real quick, threw a sticky bomb at him. He blew up, and then his little swordy guys came at me to switch my stance right away real fast on the fly. So there's definitely a lot going on. Like I got some sort of like heavenly sword power thing, and I completely forget that I have it all the time. It's supposed to be like when someone staggers, you hit two buttons and he like just like does something. I don't think it's supposed to be supernaturally. I haven't really gotten that vibe from this game yet.
No, I think they said there's really no, you know, you get your charms and stuff like that just boost stats. Yeah, but apart from that, I think they said there's really no supernatural aspect to this game. Obviously, when you see him jump from a certain height and he somehow, you know, you die if you jump from too high of a height, but when he does some of the things you go, that's a little bit more acrobatic than I think most people would be. So there's some liberties, but I don't think there's anything supernatural about this game to my knowledge. I think they explicitly said this was going to be more just historical fiction, if anything. You know, all this actually happened, you know, in Tsushima. There was an invasion, but they're taking obviously liberties with the story and just what they're telling. So
my horse can fall farther than I can.
Yeah, the horse. Dude,
there's so many times I've jumped off a cliff with the horse, and the horse just like gets up. I'm like, dude, really? Like, what horse?
The horse is essentially completely invincible. I picked the black horse.
I did the white. I did white and named him Shadow.
Yeah, well, that's why I got the black horse and I named him Shadow, which probably makes sense.
Do they give you name options?
You get
three options. You get 3 picks of like a white horse, a brown horse, or a black horse, and then you get 3 names where it's like Shadow, Sky, and something else. I think maybe Light or something to that effect.
And I also didn't realize that like I was trying to upgrade something, and it's like, you need what the hell is the word? Like predator skin. So I'm like going out, I'm shooting deer. I'm like, wait a minute, you can't do anything with the deer?
No, because the deer's not a predator, Cameron.
Yeah, I got the
you can do hunting on
some places it is, Matt, okay?
It's not really hunting. It's kind of like if you're running through the woods, you get like attacked by like a bear, like it looks like coyotes or something. I run away from them, but I didn't realize
boars,
that.
I think there were boars too. That
update like your to upgrade your like the amount of bows you can carry or like the fire stuff that you get and the grenades, you have to have predator skin. So it's fun. It's cool. It's definitely different from going from Last of Us 2 then to Dishonored, which I just slaughtered everybody, to this. I'm kind of like more slow
calculating. Yeah, you got to be calculating. You can't just go crazy.
Now real fast.
Nice product placement, Alex, with your Rook coffee.
Before I ask everyone else is playing, Matt, quick question. Dishonored, I obviously got the high chaos. How different is the ending from high to low? Without spoiling it, is it like significantly different or just like one thing?
Super different.
It is. Is it just the end cutscenes different?
No, when you're playing low K, if you try to do a completely low chaos playthrough of Dishonored, what happens to the people you're trying to get revenge on is so much better. I'll give you a little spoiler for for the Pendleton twins.
Yeah,
you just killed them, right?
No.
Oh, what did you do then? Did you like stun them and you put them into the mines?
No.
Oh, see, because you can do one where instead of just killing them or whatever, you take the Pendleton twins, the truly, not hostile ending is you basically render them both unconscious. And then as payback, Corvo has somebody, they essentially, you find out that the Pendleton twins had their heads shaved, their tongues cut out, and they were put into their own slave labor mines. So instead
Wait,
of
are you talking about the two people that you get when you go into the mansion? That level,
the whorehouse, the cats.
Yeah, I never met him. I just released Emily, and then they're like, "Oh, you can go if you let him go. Someone else will take care of it for you." I was like, "All right, cool."
No. Then you're not paying attention to the dialogue. So you gotta just stop killing people and running around and listening to shit and reading too.
Yeah, whatever.
You're missing out on so much detail.
I will go back and play that game to try to do it like without killing anybody type deal.
Yeah,
because I see that is a pretty easy platinum trophy if I can manage to deal with it. If
not killing anybody, it's not as easy as you think.
Yeah, no, they just said save a lot. So, but Alex, what are you playing after last week?
I just finished what's called Rise of Tomb Raider because it was free on PlayStation Plus.
So, wait, that's the second one.
I think so.
And we had
scale of 0 to 0.
Hold on. Whose side are you on this? Because last week you picked Matt, and I decided that Matt despises this game. I don't think it's that bad.
Visually, I like it. Honestly, like I was just trying to get it done.
Oh,
see,
it did look good. It's a very good looking game, but no, you get like halfway through that game and you say, is this over soon? And it's nowhere close to being done. And then you just say, fuck it. And you just want it to be over.
Yeah, exactly.
It is like it's Uncharted too in every way possible.
Yes. I was trying to get it done as fast as possible and hear you guys' review for Ghost. So I'm gonna pick that up soon.
Yes, I would pick it up.
It's fun. It really is. I think you'll like it a lot.
And Sean
just finished The Last of Us #1.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Only 5 years.
I was a little late. I was a little late on that one.
Actually, longer. Yeah, than that.
This will probably tie into the conversation later, but I had Xbox forever, and then
right.
post kids, I didn't have time to play with The Last of Us in front of them. So
yeah,
I'm starting to go back and play old games. I have Uncharted. I'm going to go through, and then I just downloaded Far Cry 3 Classic Edition for $3.
That's a fun game. I think that was the last good Far Cry game was Far Cry 3. I think
really?
The last few
have
been
one.
Actually, you know which one was pretty good too? Surprisingly, was the Primal one with the cavemen.
Yes.
Surprisingly, really good game. But in terms of the numbered ones, I think 3 was the last good one.
I'll second that.
I got Far Cry 4 for $8, I think. This is a whole other discussion, but the PlayStation Store is just phenomenally better than the Xbox Store. Just the deals they have.
Sales all the time. Yeah,
all the time.
I will say that the what the hell is the Far Cry DLC? Blood Dragon.
Blood Dragon. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Cyberpunk giant dinosaurs running around.
Yeah, I'll give him that one. But I'll agree with you, man. I think the third one was the last decent one. I think the fourth one could have been good. The fifth one could have been good, but the fifth one just I don't know. And
fifth one shit.
I didn't even finish the fifth one.
You don't.
Neither did I.
Don't.
Maybe I did. I don't think I did. I can't. Honestly, I can't remember.
I didn't finish it. I remember Cam talking about the flying.
Oh God, it's so stupid. It's the dumbest thing in the world. So dumb, but whatever. Once again, this is Why Am I Nerd presents Alphabetical Games. You can follow us on Instagram at Why Am I Nerd Official, Facebook.com/Why Am I Nerd, and listen to new episodes every Monday in your favorite podcast service, or catch new episodes every Sunday at 6 p.m. on YouTube at A Bunch of Weird Letters, because we're still working on that verification. So today, it's a pretty simple day. We have a big topic with Ubisoft's Forward stream that we're going to discuss.
Wouldn't call it that big.
Well, just some of the games that they have. I have a laundry list of shit to talk about. Why do developers continue to work on failing games, which is an interesting thing as well. But going into this first, as a quick take, I saw that Godfall, this is from GameSpot, is trying to create its own genre with whatever the hell this means.
Whatever that is, whatever that game will be.
Yeah, so if anyone doesn't know, Godfall is a new game coming out for PS5. They're calling a looter slasher. Again, this comes from Phil Hornshaw over at GameSpot. One of the first games that'll usher the PS5 and thus one of the first to bring the next console generation is Counterplay's game Godfall. We've seen Godfall in action a few times now in trailers and videos, but some of the most intriguing tidbits about this game are things its developers have only mentioned in passing and which haven't yet made it into trailers or gameplay videos. So they are pretty much saying that Counterplay says it sees Godfall as expanding on the action RPG and looter game genre to create its own thing called the looter slasher, whatever that may be. I personally think the game looks kind of cool. It kind of reminds me a little bit of My Jam, which is coming out in September now, I believe, Kingdom of Amalur, which I'm super pumped about. So fuck everybody here because I'm buying that. I don't care.
I don't know why you say fuck everybody here. I just never got into that back around the first time. It wasn't that big. I'll probably end up playing it because I think just when that first came out, I think it was only on Xbox originally, and then it did come to PS3. But then at that point, I just didn't care.
You should have cared.
But now, whatever. I'm probably gonna end up playing it, but I'm not. Yeah, I don't think I ever talked shit about that game. I just didn't know enough about it to really have an opinion. So
no, I was just getting amped up about how much I love it.
No, Godfall definitely looks cool. I just, it's a new IP, so there's always that air of caution. You never know if it's going to really be good or not. And I mean, it all depends on. It's not something I will get as soon as it comes out. I need reviews. I need people talking about it first and even need to see more about it. Because at this point, I just know it's cool. People in cool sets of armors with like lion heads and shit on it and swords and stuff. So that's all I know.
As long as it's not like a too human release, I'm good.
That's always a problem. Yeah, that's always a big problem though.
That is good. I mean, the whole looter slasher thing. I mean, I kind of think that's like, how are you gonna say that you're gonna create that when it's pretty much no different than Diablo? I mean,
then you have to innovate with it. You have to add new mechanics to it. Oh, I see a dog.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Cool. We have a fifth member.
I mean, no. Like when it comes to looter slasher genres, you can easily say that something like Diablo is already kind of taken over for that, or even Fable. It's kind of the same thing. So where they're coming up with the fact that they're trying to say that they're going to create this new genre on their own.
I mean, how many times has a new genre really been created? Like how are they going to define that? Because as soon as it comes out, people are going to compare it to other games.
Right.
The only way I could see it is if it inspires games in the future that play just like it. But I mean, every game's going to be different regardless. So how are they going to, like, what are they going to name the genre? Like, is that what it's going to be called? Looter slasher?
That's what they haven't named yet.
Right.
They're already pulling terms from previous games.
Exactly. If you're saying looter slasher, then you're saying the looter dungeon crawler, which is fucking Diablo. And then you're saying looter shooter, which would be Destiny or Borderlands. You're playing a looter style game. So then that's the genre. It's a looter type game. But then how do you expand on it? Is it where you're running around and you're dungeon crawling? Because I don't know. Sean's right. Are you really inventing a new genre, or are you just creating a hybrid, or just something within a compartment, within some other genre that's already existing? So.
Yeah, because you could say that, obviously, if anyone does not, I know Matt knows about Too Human. That game is what this sounds like they're trying to do. Like the way that Too Human kind of came about, where it was just like go in, slash and shoot everything impossible and just loot everything. But I mean, that game was like, you were like a cyborg or something, or superhuman, or
you were an advanced race of people where you were essentially aliens that were like, I think, Norse gods. So there was the guy that was Thor. There was the guy, there were people that were like Norse gods, and they just were trying to say that the myth was all based on aliens. Honestly, I barely remember anything about that game other than it just being so bad. That's it. It
had a great idea.
Crap. Yeah, good concept, but it just was not handled very well. So I'm going to just look that up again now while we're talking about it, because I need to revisit some bad memories. So hang tight.
Who was the game developer?
Who was the game developer?
It was developed by Canadian developer Silicon Knights and published by Microsoft Studios in August of 2008. Ugh.
But didn't Silicon Knights do something else? What was another big game that they attempted to do?
Let's find out. Oh, crazy. It was apparently in development hell for almost 10 years, so that's always a good thing. And originally planned for release on the Sony PlayStation in 1999. That game would have been even worse if it came out 9 years prior. Silicon Knights, what have they done? Oh God. Blood Omen. So I know those games like Legacy of Kain. If you know those games.
Yeah.
Those games are actually pretty good. Yeah. They've made, I think, in their entire career, they made less than 10 games. So they're down.
Well, that doesn't mean
that
doesn't really mean anything. But
yeah. So whatever.
So we'll see what happens with Godfall. Again, it is supposed to be like it's probably going to be a launch title with the way it kind of seems like it's coming across. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so, just a side note, they apparently had a 2 Human 2 and a 2 Human 3 planned.
They did. I know. It was supposed to be a trilogy. And I'll never forget first getting that game. I was like, all right, slash, hit the X button a million times. And all of a sudden, it's like, wait, you have to shoot with the joysticks like you're doing like a retro style game, and you had to like turn. I was like, what? Like, it was no. But I will say the customization of your character was pretty fucking cool in that game. Kind of reminds me of Warframe. But anyway. So Ubisoft here had their Ubisoft Forward event, and all the game and news and announcements are right here on GameSpot as always. So first, I just want to go over the list of games they announced, which was Just Dance 2020, which was to no one's surprise. Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet, The Crew 2, The Division 2, which I'll get into that in a second, Trials Rising, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Watch Dogs Legion's Brawlhalla, Mobile Showcase, obviously Hyperscope, which we briefly talked about. Hyperscape, which we talked about last week for a second. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and Far Cry 6. So I thought it was interesting that what I read about this whole Ghost Recon's Breakpoint thing is what they're trying to say, that they're going back to almost make it a brand new game. I don't understand why. It says that Ubisoft details upcoming additions and changes to Ghost Recon Breakpoint. These changes come in the wake of poor reviews for the game last year, as well as disappointing sales figures. AI teammates are finally coming to the game on July 15th. They are fully customizable, including physical features, gear, weapons, and costumes. They'll follow your lead if you go stealthy, or there are 4 orders that you can give them. So they're considering, by doing this, they're rebooting the game and making it playable for more people. Which
no. I mean, I think I hate to say it. I think at this point the Ghost Recon franchise probably just needs to be shelved for a while until they can really get it together, because they did Wildlands a couple years ago.
Yeah. I liked Wildlands.
That died a pretty quick death, though. I mean, it came out, it's gone for maybe 20 minutes, but that world is so massive and so fucking empty. And then they did Breakpoint, which I guess is apparently a sequel to Wildlands.
It is.
And then it's the story related, I guess, whatever. And then I remember they hyped Breakpoint up. Breakpoint came out and people forgot what Breakpoint was.
Breakpoint looked good when they showed the trailer. I'll give it that.
It always looks good. It always looks good. That's the operative word, looks good. But then it never looks like that when you play it. And then it's never, they always have those canned demos where you hear the people talking and they're like, yeah, oh, hey, what's up, man? I got a guy coming up on my left here, on my left flank. And they're just always talking. So it's just like canned dialogue in their demos. It just always puts a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, that's how
I want to play any more of those games.
That's how they pitched Division 1. I remember that.
Yeah. And the Division 1 the Division 2 still doesn't even look as good as the original demo for the Division 1 that they showed at E3 5 or 6 years ago now. Probably even longer than that.
I had high hopes for Division 1.
A lot of people did. I did. Didn't work.
Yeah, I think a lot of people jumped right in and then immediately regretted it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did think that the second one had potential, but again, it's just so repetitive, and like I had a glitch in the game where like I couldn't do something at one point. I couldn't progress forward, and I was like, you know what, fuck this. I've tried this game twice now. I'm out.
Yeah.
Don't you think with Ubisoft games though, that's like a lot of their games have that repetitive grind of doing the same stuff with different areas, different maps, but you're just grinding and doing the same missions over and over and over again. There's not that much uniqueness in any of the games. Like you look at, the Assassin's Creed games, which we'll probably talk about, and then the Division, and then, Ghost Recon. They're pretty much the same games set in different areas.
Yeah, it's true. He's absolutely right. I mean, they're not, I think, and that's why I guess my opinion's biased, because I do enjoy, for the most part, the Assassin's Creed games. I will get Valhalla. I'm going to probably just get it.
I will too. I agree with that.
Yeah, I like I like that historical shit. You know, I like running around and assassinating people and just shooting people with arrows and stuff like that. So, you know, Valhalla will be fun because I get to be a Viking, and I love the sailing aspect of those games. So that's going to be fun. But in truth, I don't see a lot of true innovation coming out of Ubisoft. And Watch Dogs 3 doesn't look any better visually than the last one did. It's just in a different country. And now apparently every single character you get is unique. And if they die, then they're dead, and then you get another character, and that's it. I don't want to sound rude, but they just don't do a lot of really innovative shit anymore. There's just nothing special coming out of them.
Yeah, so Watch Dogs, I guess, piggybacking on that, the first one was 2014. The second one was 2016, which I really thought that game was later than 2016. And then obviously this new one is 2020. So the first one took place in Chicago. Second one was San Francisco, essentially, and then this one is London. Both Watch Dogs games surprisingly scored on IGN almost the same, and same with Metacritic. IGN gave Watch Dogs 1 8.4, which I have no idea how, and he gave the second one 8.5. And Metacritic for Watch Dogs 1 is at 80, and Metacritic for Watch Dogs 2 is an 82. I remember when Watch Dogs 1 came out, I remember watching that, being like, yo, this thing's awesome. This is revolutionary. I can't wait to play it. And it was just did not execute what it was supposed to do. And then the second one comes out, and I remember you start stealth, like right away you start stealthing with this guy. His name is, what the fuck is his name?
I honestly don't remember.
Mark, maybe Mark. We'll call him Mark. I think his name's Mark.
Cool, Mark. That sounds
Mark.
right. Sure.
He plays this guy, Marcus. That's his name. Marcus.
Okay.
Marcus. So, and you just like stealth the rooftop, and then you go and you find, I guess, like you get recruited by the company DedSec, and
it's not a company, it's like a hacker group.
Yeah. So like the group, I remember you go down into the basement and you could just produce every weapon in the game immediately, just become like a raging psychopath. Now it's like, wait a minute, I thought this game was supposed to be about like hacking, but no, you just like produce like a freaking
you're 3D printing. You can just 3D print all your guns and shit.
It was so fucking weird. And then this one, I guess, like you said, I guess you play as, I guess, like you're like a robot maybe, and you're like recruiting people. Like that's
in the third one.
Hear me out for a second. So you don't have a main character.
No, it's not that you don't have a main character. It's just that your characters
people.
are no, you're not. Well, yeah, but you can be anyone in the world. Anybody is somebody that you can be part of this hacker group. I love how that was the biggest part of their demo last year. They were like, you can be an old lady who's 80 years old and walking around with a cane, but she's going to hack the shit out of your bank account. But also she can die permanently, so be careful with her. You know, that was their big
So I guess what I'm saying is obviously you must start as either somebody, or you just start off as a computer and you hack into someone's phone and you're like, hey, join my whatever the hell cause is, because apparently when you recruit people, you have to do it in like steps, which, I mean, it could get super repetitive. Like if you go and recruit.
Did you just say Ubisoft and repetitive in the same sentence, Cameron?
Yeah.
Again?
I did.
Did you just say that again?
It seems to be a theme.
Yeah, I feel like we're onto something here.
It's just, it was interesting that that's the route they went in. I know people that played the demo seem to really like it, which I don't understand how. But I guess if you want to recruit a bunch of hitmen and go do whatever you want to do, I guess that works. I don't know. They say pretty much you have to recruit people to tackle different scenarios. So they keep talking about this concrete worker or construction worker, where you have to infiltrate like a construction site, and you have to recruit a construction worker to be able to do it, do it stealthily so you can get less detected. And his weapon ends up being a nail gun. I don't know. Or you just go hire yourself a hitman that's apparently like 90 years old and go that route. So,
I don't know.
Cool.
The video, the gameplay looked cool. I mean, if I propose something to them, I want Assassin's Creed construction worker immediately. That'd be great. On the video, he chokes a guy out with a wrench.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Apparently, you could switch people on the fly, and again, recruiting is key. Am I going to be picking this one up? Unfortunately, I'm out.
I'm out. I'm 100% out too. I've learned my lesson with Watch Dogs games. I've learned my lesson with Division's game. You know, the Division. I'm out. The only thing that I'll pretty much be getting out of Ubisoft for the most part will just be Assassin's Creed games, because at least I know what I'm getting myself into with those. I have a love-hate relationship with that series, so I get it. I will get Valhalla. That's it. And then, of course, whatever the next one is. But we'll see.
Well, leading into Valhalla, I will agree with you. I thought Valhalla looks cool. I was not a fan of Odyssey. It was just too big for me. I liked Origins better than Odyssey.
Me too.
I think we actually agreed upon that one.
I loved Origins way more. I love Egypt. I love that, I love Greek mythology, but Egyptian stuff has been, my family has like a weird obsession with Egyptian mythology. So that game kind of was really fucking awesome to just explore ancient Egypt and see so much shit. And they do a really good job of, when you're exploring in these games, they have those things where they actually call out pieces of history. Like there's like an explanation of what it was and when it was built and who did it. They have a really good, you actually can learn a ton of shit about history from playing Assassin's Creed. Just put all the weird technology and precursor alien race shit to the side. And just if you focus on the history, they have you can learn a lot about history from playing these games. So give them credit for that.
Except probably the Black Flag one. I don't know how much history really came into play with that one.
That was accurate.
Was it?
A lot of that was accurate. Yeah.
And I don't know. I failed history every year. So history ain't my fault.
Shocking. I can't say I'm surprised. I can't say I'm totally surprised by that.
So anyway, Valhalla comes out November 17th, 2020, which is weird because Cyberpunk comes out November 18th.
No, I think it's the same day. Granted, if that's the case, then the PS5's out by then, I will be waiting on Assassin's Creed. I'm not rushing to get Valhalla. I will play it, but if it's between that or Cyberpunk, it's Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk all the time.
I will agree with you on that. So anyway, I thought it was interesting that they're doing. I guess my dad is cutting my lawn, whatever. They're doing Watch Dogs and they're doing Valhalla like probably 2 weeks apart. So you have to assume that Watch Dogs probably isn't going to perform very well in sales wise. I think it's safe to say, but Valhalla looked good. I know they said that they're bringing back the cloaking system with the blending in.
Yeah, I saw some gameplay where they blend in. Which you missed that in Odyssey.
Yeah,
I didn't like it.
It was too easy to get around in Odyssey. Just do whatever you wanted. I needed some kind of a challenge, or you just go smash everybody.
Yeah, that game was. It was very focused. It was very charge in and fight oriented as opposed to being stealthy. Whereas when you play as Bayek in Origins, I felt, that really felt like an Assassin's Creed game, being stealthy and only really engaging in serious combat when you had to. And now Valhalla kind of is getting right in the middle. You can have that stealth and blending in, but you can also just be a crazy Viking with an axe if you wanted to be. So
they're bringing back the cloaking. They're bringing back the paper hunting thing, which was in Black Flag, when I guess you have to like chase the songs for your guys to sing.
Some of those are a pain.
That was.
But I want more. But I want some Viking sea shanties when I'm sailing around. That's the best GTA radio station was sea shanties in Assassin's Creed.
So I guess you're Ivor. Is that the guy? I think that's how you say his name.
Ivor, yeah. It's Ivor. I think Ivor it's unisex. It's whether you're playing as the male or the female. It's Ivor is the name of the character.
Yes, you can male or female. I also heard that apparently you could potentially change the character genre like mid-game.
Yeah. Well, gender, you can do at any point, because I guess the explanation I very specifically read that article where they said that in world, the way the Animus works is that it's piecing together just a small piece of DNA from this person, so it doesn't accurately know whether they were male or female. So in terms of the way the Animus works, you can actually change on the fly. So you can play half the game, I guess, as Ivor is a male, and then pick up and just be like, Ivor was a female, and it's fluid across. It's telling the story of this Viking warrior, but it didn't quite know based on the tales whether it was male or female, I guess is what they're trying to say. But if I play, I'm picking one and I'm sticking with one. That's it. I'm not going to flip it on the fly just to say cool. I'm flip-flopping it. I don't see any point in doing that,
Going back and forth between the characters?
Yeah, I don't see any reason to do that. Yeah, it's if you just pick one or and I'm not trying to get political where, with Cyberpunk you can be gender fluid. It's not about that. But if they're giving me two options, I'm going to pick one and I'm going to be that character. In Odyssey, I picked Cassandra. And if I had a choice to switch, I wouldn't have, because Alexios was I heard is a terrible. Like, he's so boring as a character. Yeah, and
he just sounds like a big dummy when he talks.
Exactly, and Cassandra actually had personality. I really liked her character a lot, so that's why when I pick one of these, male or female, I'm going to pick it and I'm going to stick with it, and that's it. I just don't actually know quite yet which I want to. I was sticking with Cassandra from the start with Odyssey, but with this, I'm not 100% sure yet.
The female looks like the girl from Horizon.
Oh, Aloy.
Yeah, I always think every time I see her, she reminds me of her and the girl from what was that fucking game? The one that like trips with your head. You have to wear the head. I beat it. It's on my list of 15 things I beat. We talked about it.
They're making Senua's Sacrifice. Well, that's because she was a Viking, so that makes sense. Yeah,
she kind of looks like the two of them put together. Which shout out to that game. So everyone should go play that. No one has played
Senua's Sacrifice is a good one, and then of course the sequel when that comes out. Hopefully that'll be good too.
Apparently, it's a Xbox exclusive
for a time period. The first one was as well. So
it was.
It will. Yeah, it'll just be for a little while, I'm sure, and then it'll come to PlayStation.
It'll be interesting to see how they turn that on. Move that forward. I mean, from based on how the story ended. Also, they have a cinematic auto travel, which is cool for me. I guess it just kind of goes. You set your waypoint, automatically does that. Apparently, they're getting rid of side quests.
I heard they have it's almost like you said in Ghost of Tsushima, where there's 3 missions and they show you different areas. But I think it's going to be. It's not going to tell you exactly where to go unless you want that. But they give you areas to search.
Cool. So you have to seek out side quests. Otherwise, it's just you're pursuing a story. Other than that, you have to kind of go out into the world.
Yeah.
That's cool. Because I think Odyssey made that really, because that map was so big, and I remember looking at it, and it would get to a point where you would just see so much shit on the map that you didn't know what to pick. So this is kind of better, where it doesn't clutter the map, and it just says, if you want to get out in the world, go ride off to some random town and start talking to people. And then if something happens, something happens. If it doesn't, then you just keep doing that. I like that. I'm totally cool with that. So
they're also bringing bringing mythical beasts in, which
sweet.
I guess makes sense. The consequence system, which sounds about right. I guess depending on how extreme they get with that. I'm assuming they're probably not going to do what they do in Dishonored, where it changes the entire fucking landscape of the game, but who knows? They have raids and I guess castle assaults. I'm assuming it's the same thing. I didn't really understand that when
I saw the gameplay for you actually have to bring a team with you, a small army, and try to get into the castle.
So is it similar then for
Black Flag
almost like
that.
the castle assaults and like Black Flag, where you're sailing to like a fortress and you have to assault it from the outside, and then it's okay, now we're docking and then we're charging the fortress and you have to kill, I guess, the leader, the unit leader, and then it claims the castle.
Yeah, it's not like in Odyssey when you just scaled the wall, infiltrated the castle, and just killed everybody in there. Yeah. And then you're hiding in like a little thing of hay and no one has any idea where you went.
Yeah, they're complete. I like that. That'll be cool.
That also reminds me of what's called Shadow of War. I think you have to raid the castles too.
Yeah, you did that in the second one more. I think they did. I think they had something similar to that in the first one for the Shadow of Mordor game, and then the second one. Then you had the raids where you had to actually bring in units and fight and and get to that, kill all, start like claiming points within the castle, and then you had to take out the leader unit. So and there was no hiding in that. You fought and won, or you fought and you fucking died. So it was great. Yeah.
Ghost is the same way. Once it starts, it starts.
Yeah, there's no hiding. You're in it. Once you're found, you're found. You can't really.
And I do like how they do with the healing. Like if you try to heal yourself, like it doesn't just automatically give you full health. Like if you're like almost dead, you heal.
Pounds his chest and psychs himself up to give him a little bit of a boost of health. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, it's not like that's. I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I first did that, because then they explained it. It's resolve. It's called. Yeah. So it's not just you going, oh, I'm wounded, I'm going to drink this magic potion and it's going to fully regenerate my health. He's like, fuck. I'm in a bad way right now. And he pounds his chest and you hear him going like he psychs himself up and it gives him a little bit more health back. So it kind of I like that. It's just a little, it's enough to keep you from dying basically.
And then once you learn the special moves that you can get, it uses the resolve. Like if you use it the right time, it'll take away. So if you have 5 resolve points, the move might cost 4 and then it wipes you down to 1. And I think when not to get too off topic, I think when you heal to it, I think it only takes like half of the resolve away. I don't think it takes the full bubble. I can't tell because
I guess it depends on how much. Yeah, I guess it depends on how much health you've lost. I guess it's based on that, But it doesn't always take a full thing away. Sometimes it only takes a portion of it away. But I like that.
Just a couple of things that they said about Valhalla is obviously you can dual hand single-handed weapons, which I think is kind of cool. The Spartan kicks back, but they call it the kick of Tyre, and you have a stamina meter. Tyre, is that what it is? Yeah, and you have a stamina meter. Did Odyssey have a stamina meter? I don't remember.
I don't think so. I could be wrong.
So
as far as we're using special moves, or
no, like they're doing this as a stamina meter as if you're playing like Neo, where if you're tired, you're like you're out of breath.
I heard something. I think it was for Valhalla. I heard like you're not going to just automatically heal. You're going to have to like pick stuff up to heal.
Get to eat berries and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think Greg Miller on Kind of Funny said he played it and he didn't know how people are going to feel about it because it plays like a Viking RPG. They could have almost made it its own game.
Cool.
But I think they're just using the Assassin's Creed name because it sells, obviously.
Right.
And I would say before anyone plays this game, if you haven't watched The Last Kingdom on Netflix, it's based on the same time period.
Yeah.
And it's based on the book, The Saxon Stories.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about the Vikings leaving their home country to invade England. So that, and it's I watched the whole season. It's great, but it would pump you up for this game if you watched it.
I like. I love the one comment that I saw on Reddit for this when they were talking about this. It's just what you're saying, Sean. But the top comment was someone saying, "I don't understand. This is misappropriation. This isn't people invading another country. These are just friendly farmers who are looking to go spread their crops elsewhere. Like just saying that they're not." Rapers and pillagers. They're just nice people. What are you talking about? I love it.
Technically, yes.
That's all they wanted to do was just go and see new places and spread their seeds, literally and figuratively. So, but no, dude, Vikings are sweet, and they showed a lot of the like the concept art of the king at the time, the king of England. I can't think of his name, but I will watch. I will watch Last Kingdom as a primer.
You got to watch it. Even like the castle raids, how they get into a castle, like they're just trying to barrel down the door and go straight through. That's what they believed in.
Yeah, Vikings just didn't give a shit. It was just brute strength. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing for the DLCs. They said they're actually going to be adding a secret mission or like a special mission for Beowulf. So you're actually going to be able to like play the story of the Beowulf poem and I guess go fight Grendel, which I can't wait to see how they explain what that is. If it's going to be some kind of weird ass creature walking around, and then dragons and shit. And then, it's crazy. I think that's so fucking cool. I love that shit.
Did you see the CGI Beowulf that came out like in 2008 or 2000?
Yeah, that was horrible.
It was so weird. It was like half real, half CGI. I don't know. That was trippy as fuck.
Yeah, I like when they do the weird bits of history because I think in Assassin's Creed Revelations they had a special mission where you got to go to the grave of Vlad the Impaler, and when you find his skeleton and you look at the skull, he actually has like fangs. So they're like, oh, maybe he actually was a vampire, and you get his special sword and stuff. So I like when they do those fun bits of history that are probably total bullshit, but they just throw that in there as a little bit of extra fun for you. So Beowulf's going to be interesting.
What they did with Atlantis in Odyssey.
They made an entire DLC, like an entire season pass that was like 6 episodes long where you go to Atlantis and it's literally like heaven on earth and you're playing as the alien precursor race. I just never got around to playing it. So
see, I would play that, but unfortunately you probably have to beat the game first. You probably can't just jump right into it. But
no, you have to get to Atlantis in the actual main game to be able to, I think, do that. So, but
all right, so
Valhalla is the only thing I'm excited about.
I say we're all kind of in agreement. Valhalla is the only thing that's going to probably stop Valhalla for a lot of people is the fact that it comes out 2 days before Cyberpunk, which is unfortunate for them. I think that would definitely be a game that'll probably hit the sale mark pretty quick, but we'll see. And then the last thing kind of that we briefly talked about last week was Far Cry 6. Unfortunately, I kind of thought it could be cool, especially if it was going to be a prequel to Far Cry 3, which they were hinting at. But then they kind of, I don't know, the whole fact that it's like makeshift weaponry and stuff like that. I don't really like that. I didn't like it in Far Cry New Dawn. I thought it was really kind of cheeky. But I guess we'll see what kind of happens. It does take place, Alex, you said it last week, on an island of Yara, which is supposed to be Cuba, I guess, in a sense. And I guess they show you as Diego as his son is what they're like assuming it is.
It is his son. Yeah, it is his son.
But you could play his daughter. So
are they doing another sort of thing too, like Assassin's Creed, where you can pick whether you want it to be the boy or you want it to be the girl or whatever? That's fine.
So I guess any theories that this guy Diego is Voss is out the window.
And I was also going to say too, because I remember after we talked about this last week, I looked up, I went to Google and I looked up Voss, because they have like a Far Cry Wikipedia, and they said that his character was born in 1987, and when you're watching the trailer, he's probably like 12 years old, something like that, or maybe 13, and he's listening to an iPod, and I don't think iPods came out in 1994 or 5 or whatever, so I don't know. I don't think it's Voss, and people just saying it's Voss because he's got the same fucking scar on his eye is probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's not enough, people can have scars in the same spot, but if it ends up being him, they just better explain it really well. I just don't think that's going to be the case, clearly. Now, especially if there's a female version, then it absolutely is total shit.
And there's obviously going to be some sort of time jump, because I'm assuming you're not going to play as a 12-year-old kid running around with an AK-47.
Imagine though, that's a game that I want to play as a small child. Yeah, a small child just running around with pulling pins out of grenades and throwing them at people. Great. He's like a Chucky doll. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean they probably need to go, because I remember the first Far Cry game that came out for PC was not open world. It was linear, and they re-released it on Xbox. It was called like Far Cry Predator or Instincts. Well, there's two of them. There's like Far Cry Instincts and Far Cry Predator. And I think one of them either came out as a sequel, whatever. There were two games, and there's like a first one and a second one. And obviously those were like linear story games, like A to B, no open world, whatever. Then they dropped Far Cry 2, which you could argue is awful. It is not good.
It was awful.
It was terrible. Then they came back to Far Cry 3, which was awesome, which is weird because Voss, to me, he really wasn't the main bad guy in that game. Wasn't the girl technically the main bad guy?
His sister was, his sister on the island. Oh, shit. Maybe they are. Maybe it is. I just forgot.
Fuck.
He totally had a fucking sister. So, shit, dude. Maybe these people are right. Maybe it is.
You're right.
He did have a sister. Shit. I'm going to look her up. But no, they weren't.
That's the chick that fucks you at the end. Spoiler.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, you did. But no, they're not technically the villains, because she's trying to save like the people on the island, which also doesn't make any sense because she said that they were raised on the island. They're part of that community. So I don't know. But there's some other dude, some like Dutch guy who's this Dutch white dude who's like the main villain on the island. I don't remember his name though. I'm looking at Voss' sister. Citra was her name. Citra Montenegro. Or Talugmai? Jesus Christ. Were they even related?
Who?
Yeah, they were related. Yeah. So then, dude, I don't know now. I don't know anything anymore, man. A man knows nothing right now. So I know nothing.
Well, anyway, so that was the second one. That was the third one. And then we come across the fourth one where I don't even remember. You're like, the villain's like this like weird like. I think they said it was Troy Baker.
It was Troy Baker.
It was. That's what I couldn't believe it. But
that was the. Are you kidding me, dude? Troy Baker as an impression of the Joker. He sounds just like Mark Hamill. You would have thought that was Mark Hamill in Arkham Origins, but it was Troy Baker.
He does a good job changing his voice. I'll give him credit for that much.
He's a voice actor. That's kind of what he does.
Because like when I heard him talk and like the interview, then listen to talk as Joel, I'm like, what the hell? Where'd you pull these baritone notes from? But the fourth one I didn't think was as bad as people thought. It wasn't my favorite by any means. No. Alex, you said it was your favorite. No?
You're muted.
Alex muted?
He's muted.
Sorry.
Yeah. I see the mouth moving.
The fourth one was your favorite.
No. Third one? Yeah. Third one. Not third one. The fourth one. Yes. Now I think about it. Sorry.
The one in the Himalayas, the mountain, the mountain,
Yes.
super mountain one. Okay.
But you didn't like that one, Cameron, right?
I think that was my first platinum trophy, actually, but I didn't.
Compared to the third one.
Not even close. The third one was way better.
It is.
I just feel like everything they did in the third one just worked. I mean, besides the fact that I think you're like a high school kid that gets drunk to get to an AK and can like light everybody up, and it's like cool. And there's like no real like rhyme or reason as to why you can do all this stuff, but it's a video game. But yeah, and then, I mean, I guess like everyone always says, like his character, the guy boss, just kind of makes the game. And it's really good. It's fun. It's a fun game. The fifth one, I will tell anybody, stay away from it. Unfortunately, it had all the potential to be great, and then they just throw in this stupid supernatural bullshit, and you fight when you fight the sister, she's like floating and like
that is the literal
like,
dumb.
Oh
that was the moment I remember coming into the restaurant the morning after I had played that mission, and I was sitting. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning, whatever. We're at the restaurant. I'm like, Cameron, that was the dumbest fucking shit I've ever seen. And you were like, I know, right? Why are you playing this game?
It was, they dropped the ball on that one. So, but hopefully Far Cry 6, proves us all wrong. Comes out February 18th right now, 2021 for the PlayStation and the PlayStation 5. So
on my birthday, wow.
It. Oh,
What's
wow,
that?
really?
Yeah.
Nice.
18.
Well, so hopefully it's a good birthday present. Hopefully it doesn't tank.
No, hopefully not.
I don't know. It's probably not. Listen, so. I would like to see it just because of Gustavo Fring being in it. I think he's a phenomenal actor. So that'll be cool. I like when they get big names like that in these games. So.
Like actually like John Bernthal.
John
Bernthal's in Breakpoint.
Well, that was who?
Shut up. You know John Bernthal is.
Who? I don't know who that is. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I know. That game's sick.
Anywho, moving on. I want to talk about games and why developers continue to work on them after they fucking tank and hit the bed.
Totally shit.
I don't understand it. I don't really understand where the concept comes from. I actually got this idea because I was reading something on Goliath of 12 disappointing games that improved dramatically after launch. Some of these games I didn't really understand why they were on this list. I will briefly go through them, and some of them I think we can all agree that's why. So these are what they consider have improved since they came out. Elder Scrolls Online, Fortnite, Halo 5 Guardians. This was a weird one for me. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. The Division. Yeah, I'm not done yet. The Division.
What?
Destiny, which I get. Rainbow Six Siege, which I get. Diablo 3, which I don't understand. Street Fighter 5. I never played that. Grand Theft Auto 4. What's a V? 5?
A 5?
Okay, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Clearly, you didn't play a whole lot of Assassin's Creed Odyssey if you don't know how to read Greek, Cameron. Jesus.
No Man's Skies, which I get. Minecraft, and then last but not least is Final Fantasy 14. So some of these games I definitely agree, obviously got better. I didn't play No Man's Skies. I don't have intentions to play No Man's Skies, but I have heard that No Man's Skies is what No Man's Skies should have been when it was first originally launched. I saw that they just added some sort of weird, like alien knockoff of the movie.
Dead Spacey.
Yes,
I saw it, but it's weird because they frame the trailer like it's Dead Space or it is like Aliens, and you just watch it and there's this egg and the egg opens up and like 3 tiny little aliens that look like Roombas come flying out, and it's oh god, that's so scary, and then they just shoot them with a laser and they pop like balloons, and that was it. So it's not really scary, but it's just. It's cool that they're adding more shit to this game and kind of owning up to their launch failure, and that's putting it. It really was a failure at launch. That game.
Well, it was so hyped up.
Yeah,
so hyped up, and it just didn't meet expectations at all.
No, not. I mean,
it was enjoyable to play for a couple hours.
I mean,
but then when you just kept doing the same thing,
that's pathetic.
No, because at the time it was super easy to get a platinum on that game. So why wouldn't I get it?
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Elder Scrolls Online, I remember first playing that. I think Sean and I were playing that, and I remember we were standing at one point, and Sean's like, "Why are you standing there?" I was like, "I'm talking to somebody." He's like, "Who are you talking to?" I'm like, "You don't see this NPC?" He's like, "No." I'm like, All right.
Yeah,
Well, this is awkward.
we found out you couldn't link up together, and that if you didn't do the mission, I couldn't see the person. So
that's
I think that was the last day we played it.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever turned on.
I played that game too when it started, and it did not last long. I mean, I love the Elder Scrolls universe. I love that shit, but that game did not do well. I have not played it since, and so that's now 5 years ago or longer, 6 years ago now. And I will, just from everything that I see, that game has done so much better. Okay, so 6 years is a far cry, no pun intended, from what it was when it first started. It is exponentially better, but I can't get back into it at this point. It's too far along to get back into it. So,
yeah. Then I know from just real fast, Skyrim or Oblivion. Anybody thoughts?
I would say Oblivion. I like Oblivion more than Skyrim. Yeah. I like Oblivion more.
I only played the one Skyrim, so
no,
so I can't really say.
You only played Skyrim?
Yeah.
And Sean?
I mostly played Skyrim. I remember playing Oblivion, but
Oblivion blew me away when it came out.
Oblivion was pretty fucking cool.
Sick.
Oblivion was pretty sweet.
Fortnite, I mean, that's not even the same game when it first came out. When that game first came out, it was like a castle defender type thing.
And that's why. And it's weird because I liked the castle defense part of it, and then it just drifted away, and then now that's it. It's just this horrible thing now. it's this weird... I don't know. I don't.
There's a game that helped boost creating a genre, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was
something now.
That was
now it's really hard to play. People are insane on that.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
Alex, you're a big player in Fortnite. You're always playing on there. I saw you.
Yeah.
That or Warzone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Halo 5 Guardians, I don't play Halo. I don't like Halo. I don't really understand why this game's even on this list, but this is the one that I don't understand. I'm sure you guys can all see my screen.
As soon as you said this, I felt like this was total bullshit because just from quickly glancing at this, it seems like it might have just been because of technical issue. Oh, just technical issues. Fucking kiss my ass. That game was still really fucking good. It wasn't a problem with the story or anything like that. It was just the fucking technical problems. Who cares?
I never finished it.
Finish it, Alex. Jesus.
Well,
one of the best games ever created.
Then you have the 2 DLCs, which are pretty much the size of one of them's like, which one's the bigger one?
Blood and Wine was the bigger one because it adds an entirely different region to the game, which was essential. It legitimately, each of those DLCs packs like another 20 or 30 hours of gameplay. So they could have been their own games.
I forget I think I looked at something that said that before that game has like 130 hours just to complete it or something ridiculous or
even more than that. Even more than that. If you're trying to do every story mission and every side quest, it's way more than that.
Then they talk about The Division. I mean, they worked on this. I don't think it got better, period. I think that game kind of stayed like shit from the get-go.
The game never looked like
it did not look like this.
It literally never, ever looked like that. No. Destiny definitely has improved, but it's not without its issues. That is one of the biggest games that I have the largest love-hate relationship with. It had a lot of problems, fixed them, then got more problems, fixed those, and then it just always has problems. So
do you think it's necessary for them to make a third one, or do you think they should just continue to fix the second one?
No, I think they actually specifically said recently that they're kind of shelving the idea of doing a Destiny 3, and they're just going to keep focus on fixing 2 and adding more to that, which is good. So I'll give them credit for that.
Makes sense. Rainbow Six Siege. I know there's somebody that works in the brick store that's like obsessed with this game. It's like nonstop. Apparently it's a good game. Apparently it's really fun. I don't like getting my ass kicked by teenagers, so I don't play these games. Diablo 3. I love this game. I actually have, I think, 3 characters out of the 6 that are maxed out. I'm trying to get the platinum that one day because you have to max out every character in that game. And then you have to go and you have to beat the game on whatever the super hard difficulty is, like Reaper auto death. So you have to get like a super maxed out character. If you die, it's over. Street Fighter 5, I never played. Again, it looks like it's probably just the same thing with just bullshit. It was just felt unstated and it was charged at full price. Grand Theft Auto 5, I'm assuming that they're mostly referencing, yes, they are here. GTA Online. Yeah. So I remember when that first came out, I was like, oh, this is going to be really fun. And I remember playing it. I was like, this is fucking not for me at all. Apparently it's really good now. again, I haven't played it. I haven't dipped into it in a really, really long time. So I don't know if anyone here.
I still think that it's not that good. Online portion.
It has its fun moments. I mean, when you're running around with your friends and just blowing shit up and doing heists and stuff, but overall it's nothing special really. And that's, I mean, it's good for them in terms of making money, but no, it's nothing crazy.
I mean, Red Dead Online did not perform well at all.
Yeah.
No.
But that game to me just had potential to not work, because at least with like Grand Theft Auto you can throw weird shit in, like they throw the freaking what car is in there? The one from Back to the Future,
the DeLorean.
Yeah, you can get that and fly around that. So that game makes sense. You know, it's kind of more like
you have more options, more opportunities to based on technology.
Agreed.
No Man's Skies, obviously, Matt, you have the platinum if you want to brag about that a little more. Again, we said before this game came out, was supposed to be all this great thing, kind of took a step back, and then I don't know if they re-released it or what exactly they did, but they did re-review it on IGN. And I remember they had the original score.
Well, scroll down to that picture. So that picture right there, that's like, you know, the game has never looked like this at any point. And what's funny is when they show the original trailers for it and you saw some of the planets and how beautiful they looked, it almost looked like what Ghost of Tsushima looks like, the world there. But then most of the planets you get to, because you would randomly spawn on a planet, the first planet I spawn on is this inhospitable desert planet with radiation through the roof and temperature of like 1,000 degrees. It was like, I started playing this game and I'm on this fucking nightmare planet. And that was it. I was like, this is going to not be good. And then you're struggling to survive. It's just crazy.
But like I said, apparently people love it now. Apparently it's great. Apparently, according to them, they've also considered a sequel.
Yikes.
Minecraft, I don't know. Not a Minecraft guy. Maybe I know, Matt, you're playing Minecraft Dungeons. I don't know if that means anything, but
no, I mean this game, when they released Minecraft, though, yeah, of course it has problems, but then it evolved over time, and I mean it's a dynasty now when you think about it. Everybody knows what Minecraft is.
And Final Fantasy 14. I didn't realize
massive improvement.
Well, this came out obviously in 2010. So World of Warcraft must have came out in when?
Long before that. I was in high school, man. That was like 2004, 5 maybe.
We were playing that in 07.
Yeah.
Yes, but wasn't there an online Final Fantasy game that came out almost? Is this?
Yeah, there was Final Fantasy 11, and then Final Fantasy 11 was crap, and then Final Fantasy 14 came out, and then obviously being on this list, the game was garbage, and then they effectively killed it, and then they did Realm Reborn, and it is night and day. Totally might as well be two different games, and it is a massive, they've got like 5 or 6 expansions out for it now. It's crazy, and it is something totally different. And I love Final Fantasy games. I just don't feel like paying $15 a month to play something. But I have friends who've played Realm Reborn, and they rave about how much fun it is. So it definitely, they did a good job. And I think I talked about, here's another game that is on that list, which, well, it might be on the future version of that list 4 or 5 years from now. If Anthem gets the Realm Reborn treatment. That game is crap, and it's crap, and they try to support it, and then now I think that game is essentially dead, and they said they are working on an Anthem 2.0. And that's where you say, okay, will it get the Realm Reborn treatment, and will it come out and it be what they wanted it to be, or will it just be crap again? But for the most part, it's probably going to stay crap, because I had a lot of issues with Anthem, but flying around in a robot suit like Iron Man was pretty cool.
I had a cool idea. They just didn't really execute it very well.
Very poor execution.
So I guess, like, to go back to like the topic that was like, why continue to work on a game that's failed? Do you look at it like what you're saying when it was Realm Reborn and trying to hope that it works, like No Man's Skies? Because then you have some games like they're trying to redo. Now they're saying, oh, Fallout 76 is so great. You have NPCs now. That game does not look good at all. I don't understand. Like, you've already lost all this money, right? Why continue to lose more money?
I think because they invested that much money into it. I mean,
sunk cost.
Yeah, they're now they're living on their reputation to improve that game. You know, there's a lot of examples of games that they keep putting work into here that, you know, they end up being successes. So there is a success story, I guess, people are hoping for. And you use Fallout as an example. They're obviously still putting time into that game. Has it worked out? No, but they can't just because it failed doesn't mean you can just give up on it. You know, it's
Right.
tough to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I do think though that Fallout 76, I think you have to pay to play that game. I don't think it's free.
I think you're right.
Is it? It's like,
I think you're right.
It's like $20 a month.
I mean, Sean really does make a good point, because if you could theoretically say, yes, we released this game, we spent $150 million making this game, and it came out and everybody hated it and it sucked, and then you just cancel it, and then what? You start working on your next game and expect that people are just going to jump in on it again and invest in it. So I think it's all sunk cost. I mean, if you're already in the hole, you might as well try to hopefully take yourself out.
Yeah.
Will it work? Who knows? But I mean, you're already fucked, so you can't really lose anymore. So I mean,
so then what are you banking on? People that haven't played the game to go out and buy it?
No, you're banking on, in that case, I guess I use that phrase, the realm reborn treatment. You're hoping that they're going to realize what they did wrong. They're going to listen to the people who play the game, the people who were there, and they're going to listen to the community when people say, "Here's what we want," and not just to do fan service and make people happy, just doing whatever they want. But you're going to really listen to the core issues. You're going to fix those core issues, and then say, "Here's these updates that are, it's not just going to be one massive improvement. It's got to be incremental. It can't just be one update fixes everything." But once you start setting yourself on that path where people are going, okay, we're getting some quality of life improvements, we're getting the fixes that we need, that we want, more people keep playing, more people start talking to other people saying, you come back to this game, then those people come back, and then word of mouth spreads, and then it starts to become more motivation for the people that work on the game to say, okay, we're on the right path. We got to keep doing this. That's what you need. You need that you just need to fix shit. That's what it is. You need to listen to the people that are buying your game, and especially if it's a game that people are fucking paying for monthly. I mean, if it's a free game, it's a little bit of a toss-up. You still need to listen to your community, but if someone's paying $15 a month to play a game, they're going to tell you what the problems are, and if you don't listen, they're going to fucking leave and they're going to go play something else. There's no other way around that. I mean, World of Warcraft,
there's too many other options out there.
Yeah, that's why people will find another game to play, and just because they love Final Fantasy doesn't mean they're going to just keep playing your game because they love Final Fantasy. If their game sucks, they'll go play something else. They'll get their RPG fix from Elder Scrolls. They'll get it from World of Warcraft. They'll go find something else, or they'll find something free to play. And then that's it. I mean, you can't completely just throw it in the toilet. Even when people say just let it die, as a developer, you can't really truly just let it die. You got to try to fix your mistake, because you're already in the hole. And you spent a lot of money on it. So might as well spend more money trying to fix it. So,
yeah. Or go on.
That's just me. Or go on. Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, like Fallout, like Bethesda's not going to go out of business for this. I mean, think about it. They released Elder Scrolls Online and it wasn't that great. And then they fixed it and now it's fun. And with Fallout, maybe Fallout gets the same treatment. Maybe it doesn't. But persistence is key, I guess. Just listen to the people playing your game. I guess.
And for those titles too, they're not releasing one, every year, every other year. There's a big gap, so they have time to pull those people back in.
Yeah.
Well, based on the fact too that they've shown the logo for Elder Scrolls 6, I guess it would be. I think it's safe to say they're probably not working on any new Fallout anytime soon. So they're probably like, oh shit, we got to make sure this thing works, because we're probably not going to put the game out for at least another God knows how long. 8.
Well, they even said too with Elder Scrolls 6, they were like, I think this was probably within the last 6 months or a year. They even said, they're like, don't expect Elder Scrolls 6 to release anytime soon. I would honestly estimate that game's probably going to release 2 or 3 years after the PlayStation 5 comes out, like the new generation. Easily, it's going to take a few years, and you're probably not even going to hear any more news on it for probably another year or two at this point. You won't hear shit. Like, they won't show gameplay. They won't show anything. But then who knows? Maybe Todd Howard fucks with everybody and says, here's the Elder Scrolls 6 trailer, and it's just Elder Scrolls 5 again. It's just Skyrim, but totally remastered. And it's that opening scene with the cart again. I don't know. But
that'd be unfortunate. So, but all right. Well, before we get into our last topic, let's get a quick word from our sponsor.
Why Am I a Nerd podcast network has been brought to you by our sponsor, Me Moms. The best breakfast and lunch down the Jersey Shore with 3 great locations in Wall Township, Middletown, and Brick, New Jersey. Me Moms specializes in unique and fun takes on your traditional lunch and breakfast items. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can find more information at www.memoms.com.
All right, everybody, so now we're back for our final segment, which we're going to be doing the Xbox or Xbox or PC games that we wish came to PlayStation. So we all have our little list here. Sadly enough, on my list, I looked through this. I think I only haven't played. I made a list of like 10 games. I think I only haven't played 2 of them because I couldn't play them. 3. Okay, there's 3. So who wants to go first?
Alex.
All right,
Alex.
Go for
it. So the one game that I really wanted to play is Cuphead. Cuphead is one game that it's on Xbox and PC, and I think they're bringing it to Switch.
It's on Switch.
It is on the Switch. So if you do get a Switch, you can play it on the Switch. Yeah.
I don't have a Switch.
That game looks fucking sick.
Yeah, no, it does look really sick. Another one. Well, I mean, this is just I don't think anyone likes battle royale games, but PUBG. PUBG.
PUBG is on PlayStation.
Is it? I thought it was Microsoft.
100%. It was for a little bit. So yeah, bro, you could go buy that shit right now.
Yeah, no,
I want to talk this Cuphead real fast. I mean, I know Matt and I both like, yo, you could play it on Switch as 2-player co-op at the same time.
Yes.
I don't know how. Is it on the couch?
I think you can. Well, no, I think you can do couch, but I think you can also do online.
I don't know how well Switch's online services. I know the Pokemon game had some pretty bad online stuff at first. So, but I think Cuphead is looks awesome. I want to get it, but I had beaten Tropical Freeze, and I was like, you know what?
That game.
I beat it. And I'll tell the story again. Shit. I was taking a shit when
Dude, listen, I beat Sekiro, and that game's hard, but your balls are bigger because fucking Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is like the hardest game I've ever played. Fuck that shit.
It only took me like freaking 50 tries to beat their freaking last boss. It was so stupidly frustrating. If you don't like hard games, do not play Cuphead.
Yeah. Cuphead's hard as shit.
After I get through Ghost, if I have some time before my boys from Kingdom of Amalur come out, or the Mafia remake or remaster, whatever you want to call it, to come out, that's good. I will agree with you on Cuphead. So, Sean, what's your next game?
Oh man, should I start with my big one? I mean,
do it.
Anything from Fable, man. Like, if I could just have,
there's some overlap, so that's one of the overlaps.
Yeah, if I could just have, if they announce the next Fable, if I could just have one system and play all the games, that'd be great. Obviously, it's not going to happen. Right. But if the next Fable comes out and it's good, I might get the next Xbox just because I love that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like Fable
Those games
2,
were fun.
I miss playing that game. I mean, I can go back and play it now, but it's just not the same. You know, it's the third one didn't do it for me, for anybody, I guess. Mm-mm.
There's a weird little tidbit about that game that I didn't realize until years later. You're the evil brother in that game, like who's trying to like rule the world or whatever. Was Michael Fassbender, the guy who played Magneto in the new X-Men movies.
Really?
Yeah, it was really weird. I found that out. I was like, wow, like there was actually they had a really star-studded cast voicing the characters in that game. So Fable 3 wasn't as good as it could have been, but 2 is still the pinnacle for me. 2
yeah, I remember watching. I still remember like the trailer for the E3 for Fable 2, and it was like every decision you make will change the world. It never really
did. Like watch this tree you plant grow into a big tree, and it's like
that was one of the things.
The tree, and then it fasts forward 20 years, and then there's a tree, and you go, oh.
Mind blown.
Yeah, I like the first one still better.
Fable,
yeah.
They were both good.
They were both
good. They were both good. Yeah, but 3 not as good.
I bought the Xbox just for Fable 1. It was because someone convinced me to get it. Like, oh, you got to get an Xbox. Of course, I had to buy it. I was like, yeah, I'm not playing Halo because fuck Halo.
Okay, well then I was gonna say then we'll just throw that out there. That would be one of mine. Would be Halo. Would be because I've always been a fan of the Halo series. Like when I was a kid going to my cousin's house, they had the original Xbox and playing the original Halo. I really liked those games. Now they're not as good. I played 1, 2, and 3. I played Halo Wars. I never played 4. I never played 5. I never played Halo Wars 2. But I know they're kind of losing way, I guess. But for me, I guess it's more, I like that universe. I think that universe has some really cool like lore and shit to it. But I think I said it last week. I would almost feel dirty at this point if they said, you know what, fuck it, we'll put Halo on PlayStation. I think I'd feel dirty playing those games on a PlayStation. Like I would need to play them on an Xbox.
Right.
But yeah, I know Halo 5 Guardians was really not good, and obviously it was just on that list talking about how it was not good at launch. But I think it's kind of losing its way, and I hope this new one that's coming out kind of brings it back. But I like Halo, man. What can I say? I like it for the story, not the multiplayer. Like, that was never a big deal for me. I mean, when you did the local parties and like, what was it? Blood Gulch and shit like that was fun playing it with just like local. But I was never really big on the multiplayer. It was all about the story for me, just the campaign missions. So
that's sort of
the first couple though, the multiplayer was the only thing that you could really do back in the day, like when you had an Xbox.
True.
You know?
Yeah. That was the big multiplayer game. That was essentially, the only multiplayer experience you could have on an Xbox was Halo. So that's why it was so big. But yeah, that's me. So that's one for me.
So, all right. So I'll throw a random one first.
Oh God.
I'm going to go with, because I loved this game in every stupid way possible. It's by Rare. Going Conquer Live and Reloaded.
Oh no, I like Conquer, man.
That game was so much fun. I don't understand.
Just blow shit up and talk about titties and stuff.
I don't understand how the first one, because originally came out for 64. It was like Conquer's Bad Fur Day.
Yes.
And I remember playing it, I was like, wait a minute, why are they beeping everything out? Because who knows how old I was when that fucking thing came out. And then when they redid it for Xbox, I remember like the first boss you're playing as, you fight like a cheese. You played the game, right?
Cheese. yeah. That's why that was the game that had where you literally fight a giant pile of shit called the Great and Mighty Pooh.
Yeah, and then they do like a freaking like they do that one thing where it's like a knockoff of like Vietnam or whatever the hell. They just throw you in with like a freaking like machine gun in like the war.
Yeah,
it was like out. It was out there. I don't understand why I don't get why they haven't gone back to that and made another one. I'm assuming
that not ready for it yet.
That's probably
the world's not prepared for it.
It's probably a tagline they could use. But I thought that game was fun. I really like that game. I would play that again in a heartbeat. I mean, I do have my Xbox 360, but I don't know if it'll run that game. But
probably not.
You don't think so? You think it's backwards compatible? I guess I can look.
It probably would be, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Just about everything is backwards compatible on an Xbox. So
yeah. So all right, well, that's my pick.
Next. What do you got?
I got Gears of War.
Okay.
I like how Cameron and I immediately shake our heads in the same way, like wishy-washy.
I really liked the first one and the second one, and then I never got to play the third, fourth, and fifth one.
You didn't play the third one?
No.
What? That's like the.
I don't.
How'd you not play the third one?
I didn't have an Xbox. I had the 360 for a bit.
Yeah, but I thought the third one came out for 360. It was a 360 game.
Yeah, but I had already switched to PlayStation.
Dude, the third one has like the big thing that happens, and it's just kind of like, and it happens like a quarter of the way in the game. You're just like, what? Why?
No.
So dumb. I couldn't believe they did what they did in that game. I'll give it to you. The first one I thought was good. The second one I thought was good. Third one I was like, where are they going with this? The fourth one you play is like, whatever his name, JD Phoenix or something like that, or JK Phoenix. I don't fucking know. It's Marcus's son, and you play and the chicks in it. I'm out. Didn't do it for me. And then the fifth one too. I didn't play the fifth one, but apparently people loved it. Those games just like felt so heavy, like how you moved around and those things. Like when you were like sprinting, like to try to like shift your direction, it was like
you literally were a fucking walking fridge. Like that's all it is. You're a walking refrigerator with a fucking gun chainsaw. That's all it is.
That game, if that game didn't have the chainsaw gun, it would have not taken off. That chainsaw gun definitely made that game what it is.
The one weapon I remember from the first one, playing it at my friend's house, like we played through the entire thing, and I don't know why I love the weapon so much, was the Hammer of Dawn, where you're just fighting the big rock thing. And it's like, I'm like pointing this laser at it, and I'm like, what is supposed to happen? What is this thing doing? It's charging up, and then this giant fucking thing comes down and melts this dude, and I was like, all right, that's actually pretty sweet.
That's the boss, and either the third one or the fourth one, the end boss. It's like, we finally made it. Here you go. And you just grab the hammer down, one shot, it's over. I was like, what is this? Does it remind you like the...
it's like it's the last boss fight of Evil Within.
That's what I was going to say. Fuck that.
Yes.
Fuck that boss
game.
fight. So stupid. But shout out to the second one because it's really good. The second one's fun.
Big props to the second one.
I'll never be able to platinum that because I can't beat that game in 5 hours on the super hard difficulty.
No. Sean, what else you got?
I'm gonna shock you guys, but for all my Tycoon fans out there,
Ooh.
Planet Zoo. I
Zoo.
wish I could. Yeah, it's like the recreation of Zoo Tycoon.
Okay,
but it's only on. I think it's
Xbox.
only on Windows.
Oh,
9 out of 10 on Steam and 75% on PC Gamer.
Okay,
but it's like one of those games, kill time,
I like the Tycoon games.
Gaming.
Yeah. I loved playing Roller Coaster Tycoon when I was a kid. Those games were fun as shit.
It's that you run a zoo, but I think this one's like pretty extreme. Like you can really customize some shit.
Cool, I like it.
But I'm not buying a PC just to play it, that one game.
No,
they don't even have it on Xbox. So
yeah,
damn shit.
I got one, and this here. Okay, so I'll get a little controversial, and it's because I think the game failed in truth, but I would have liked to have seen it come to PlayStation and maybe a perfected format because I love sailing and shit. So Sea of Thieves.
Oh, come on, really?
I have that too.
Yeah.
I haven't played it, but it's a game I think I would.
The concept the concept was fun and interesting, but I think the execution was just very poor. I've seen a lot of like streamers play that game, and I go, man, this is fun. Like if you're playing it with a bunch of people, it can be really fun, but I just don't think there's enough going on in the game in the world to really justify a long stay. And if they ever perfected it and said, yeah, we're just going to re-release it or whatever and then put it on other consoles, I would probably end up getting it. I mean,
that's a game that they're still making updates for constantly.
They are.
Right? Like people are still playing that.
Yeah, they just need to do a better job of it because I think they hyped that game up so much. And then
they shelved that.
Skull and Bones, well, apparently they shelved that, but I was just reading the other day, go back to some Ubisoft news. They might be totally rebranding that entire game and making it almost like an MMO type thing. So we'll come back to that in a couple months or a year or two. But yeah, they're like totally changing it up.
Around the same time they re-released Scalebound.
Yikes.
Cameron,
right, you got I got one.
Maybe you know this one. I'm going to go with BioWare. I love this game. I can't believe I love this game. It was Jade Empire. Oh,
no, that game was cool.
That game was really good. Pretty much it was like a Dragon Age with like
Asian
monks.
Influence, like monks and kung fu and samurais and shit.
Yeah, so I pulled up the thing just so everyone kind of knows what it is because it's been a very long time. What it is, a brief synopsis of that game. It's pretty much set in the world based on Chinese mythology. Players control the last surviving spirit monk on a quest to save their tutor, Master Li, and defeat the forces that corrupt Sun Hai. The spirit monk is guided through a linear narrative, completing quests and engaging in action-based combat with morality-based dialogue choices during conversations. So it pretty much is Dragon Age Origins, all those games. I think
they used the same engine for, or it was similar to almost like Sean, like Knights of the Old Republic. Did you play those games?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So think like that, but in like. Yeah,
I remember always seeing that game when you would go to like Circuit City or Best Buy. It was like one of the games you could buy. They sold there.
Mm-hmm.
I always remember seeing that Jade Empire. I just never.
They were
played
cool.
It
was a cool game.
It was really cool. And you change characters on the fly. I know that I think the main character you picked like changes the ending of that game. I don't really remember too much because it's been so long since I played it. But I remember playing this game, and the first time I played it, it's like one of those games where like you press a button and the guy like doesn't move for like 30 seconds, so it's not actually like you're not actually controlling it. And I was like, what is this? I'm not like this, but that's a great game. I recommend everyone checking that game out. Alex,
this is a game that I wish they would make like an updated version for, but Left 4 Dead.
I had that on my list. That's an
classic choice. Yeah,
they're supposed to be. Well, they had that. They teased that third game, whatever the hell.
Yeah, well, it's not a third game. It's a new game. It's just a total new thing from Turtle Rock.
I would love to see something like that for a PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
I could see them doing that. I think if they have to probably come up with something.
They were teasing what's called zombie game. I think it was for either World War C or something else. I saw like a trailer for it. I forget.
What was it?
Mm-hmm. I think it was a World War C game.
Oh yeah, that was that came out. Yeah.
That's similar.
But clearly not
Yeah.
very good if we're not aware that it actually was a thing.
It is. That was like a similar type game at third person, but those zombies like batted the hell at you. My the Golden Voice actually is obsessed with this game, and he swears by Left 4 Dead. And I know there's a lot of gripe behind the second one because it was like the same game, just different characters and like 4 different levels. So they probably could have gotten away with just making 2, which they probably should just come out with like a remaster of it, and it would probably sell well. But didn't Valve make the game? I have it as Valve.
Yeah.
Huh? You said Turtle.
Well, no, it was like a cooperative thing, but it was published by Valve, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I'll agree. That was a good game.
That's a good one. Yeah.
But you have to play it with 4 players. Like playing it with like the computer sucked. It's so stupid. Sean, what do you got?
I think you guys said all of mine. I was just trying to look something up. Is Age of Empires is that on Microsoft? Or, I mean, is that on?
That was just PC.
Yeah,
that was just PC overall. Yeah.
I mean, if I could get you know what it is? Those real-time strategy games are harder to play on console.
Yeah.
But being nostalgic, going back, give me like a StarCraft remastered, good graphics, or Age of Empires.
I was a huge Age of Mythology fan.
That's
that game
a good
was
one.
Fucking sick. Like when you would
was a good one.
so when you would just play as a god of your choice. That was a.
That's when they updated the graphics. They went to like 3D instead of like 2D.
Yeah. Like when you could be like playing as an Egyptian person, and then like you could summon Anubis, and he'd walk along the field and just be like sweeping people. It was awesome. Love that game.
Man, Age of Empires 1. You just got to tap the code pepperoni pizza. unlimited food.
I don't know. I think in the first one or second one you could bring in the guy from Axel from freaking
Twisted
Metal into it. So
I remember the codes where one of them was Big Daddy. You got a car, and it would just detonate everything, just destroy everything.
That's fucking awesome.
Matt, what do you got?
Okay, so this is a little bit of an oddball, I guess you could say, because it's actually it's all in their same universe, and there was I think there was a DLC or something related to it. It's all contained within the one universe.
I think I know where you're going at.
No, you don't. Say it then.
Is it by Remedy?
Yeah, Quantum Break.
Yep.
Quantum Break. Yeah, I would have really liked. No, it was Quantum. No, Quantum Break. No, there's Alan Wake.
No, I have both on my list. By Remedy.
Yeah, and then then Alan Wake would have also been another one you can tie in together. But yeah, those games were, and Control was really fun. And there's actually a DLC for Control where it actually is exploring what happened in Alan Wake, just for reference. So, but no, Quantum Break was one of the ones that I remember seeing it and being like, this looks really fucking cool, and I want to play this, but I'm not buying an Xbox just to play this. So,
yeah, I wanted to play Alan Wake. That was definitely something I was gonna buy it the other day, but they're selling it's like freaking $25. I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $25 in this game. Especially
Alan Wake was cool.
A game I had, which Matt, me and you had to discuss this multiple times. It's a PC game, Escape from Tarkov.
I don't know if it sounds cool, but like you mentioned it a couple times. I saw a little bit of it, and then I've heard nothing about it ever since.
It's only on PC. It's been stuck in freaking beta mode forever. Pretty much, it's a online first person shooter. You're pretty much stuck in Russia, I guess, wherever the hell you are, wherever the word Tarkov comes from, and you pretty much have to. I guess it's kind of like a Warzone game where you start off with nothing. You have to find all the shit. Build your character out, fight other people, and just continue your process. They say that game that I mentioned last week, Bigger, is supposed to be identical to this game. How close it is, I don't really know. But
PC Gamer says it's a daunting and savage evolution of Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's
crazy review.
I like the way it looks. I've always kind of followed behind it. I still follow it now. Apparently, they say it's coming to PS4. At this rate, it's probably going to PS5. I will definitely play it probably when it comes out. The last time I dropped the ball on that was when I bought 7 Days to Die. That game was fucking awful, and I wish $7 on it. I got a couple other choices. Anybody else have anything? I got a couple other ones that are pretty.
No, it's yours, unless Alex has something.
Yeah, I'm pretty much tapped.
Sunset City.
Sunset Overdrive?
Yeah, Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, is it Overdrive?
Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, Overdrive.
Where you're skating around the city and shit.
Yeah. That was Insomniac, wasn't it?
That looked cool. It looked like it was open world, I think.
It wasn't that good.
Yeah, open world, stylized.
It got really good reviews, but it was not. Like, if you don't like that, like, super cartoony, like, free flowing all over the place, I didn't. Yeah, I checked out on that one. Half-Life Alyx. I think we can all probably.
Well, that's Half-Life Alyx isn't an
PC.
Xbox exclusive or even a PC. No, that's an Oculus. Like, that's a specific.
I guess it's
VR
PC.
specific.
Yeah, I'm kind of saying it's more like PC.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's going to come out for PlayStation at some point. But
make no assumptions with that.
I'm hoping that it comes out. I don't see why they wouldn't do that. I also had Stalker on here. I really like that game. They're actually supposed to be remaking it, another one. It was kind of like the quick something here is it's a first-person shooter survival horror game developed by Ukrainian game developer GSC Game World, published by THQ in 2007. Followed by long-time development. It pretty much is a second Chernobyl nuclear bomb that goes off, and you're pretty much stuck. It's Fallout before Fallout 3, maybe around the same time. It was a PC exclusive game. I had both of them. They were really fun. They were cool. It was a little more of like a, your gun jams, garbage type deal. So you definitely had to continuously look for new stuff. Again, they are supposed to remake another one, which I'm excited about, and I'll definitely go pick that up. Just a couple other things I had on my list was Kingdom Under Fire. I don't know if anyone played that game. That was cool. Pretty much it was like take Age of Empires, how you bring your guys into battle, the same exact thing, but then the second you go into battle, it zooms in onto your captain, you play as the main guy. Like you play as the character.
The first one or the second one?
The first one.
Okay.
It's really fun. It's cool. It kind of has the thing that you get a whole huge world map, see wherever it is, you bring your troops there, and it goes in, and you fight it out. I had State of Decay, which I thought was going to be good, but sucked. And then the last one for me that I wanted to play was, because everyone talks about it, is Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps you can get on the Switch. You're talking about Ori and the Blind Forest, which would be the first one.
Is that what it is? The first one,
yeah. I would have liked to have played the first Ori, but it's still Xbox exclusive and PC. But then there's the sequel that's out right now that you can play on. Almost certain you can play it on the Switch.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to play the sequel if you can't play the first one, but fuck all. I'm just a fan of video games and talks about video games.
I think you can play. You can play the first one on the Switch. You said, right?
Second one.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, the second one. There's a sequel now. Maybe it is on. Maybe Blind Forest is on the Switch. If it is, then I gotta.
I think Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition for Nintendo Switch.
Oh,
what? So then maybe I do need to buy that.
$20.
Sweet. Then I'm probably gonna fucking buy that. Then
there you go.
I'll second
that game looks cool. Yeah.
It does. So, all right. Well, once again, this is Why Am I Nerd presents Alphabetical Games. You can follow us on Instagram at Why Am I Nerd Official, Facebook.com/Why Am I Nerd. Listen to new episodes every Monday at your favorite podcast service, and catch new episodes every Sunday night at 6 p.m. So I have to get editing because I only have freaking 5 hours. So once again, I'm Cameron James. With me as always, just Matt, Alex Morales, and Sean Farewell. Until next time, we're out.